Hello, everybody. My name is Kimberly Bowden. I'm also known as Doo-Wop. I am a poet, a writer, a spoken word artist. I am an event host and organizer. I am the executive producer of Doo-Wop Cincinnati Poetry Slam. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I have some poems lined up for you, so we'll get right into it. I'm originally from Ellesmere, Kentucky, though I have lived and worked and created art for several years in Cincinnati, Ohio. So that's where I come to you today from. So I'll get into this next poem. The next poem is called Bridges. I done burned some bridges, but they were dilapidated and needed to come down. And now new ones are being constructed from materials tried, trusted, proven over time. Built upon fundamentally sound foundations, the locations are prime for mind stimulation. These bridges give me motivation to keep moving and loving and living and growing into a woman of wisdom and grace. They're taking me to a new place where I can flow free without hesitation. And now I'm making connections and booking shows with folk from across the nation because my vibration is right. My sight is clear and the fear of the unknown is behind me. I look behind me to see dust bellowing up from the demolition. Before me are blue skies. I'm celebrating new life, free of strife and trifling individuals attempting to take me down. Trying to steal my crown and glory because my story read better. My rhymes were wetter and I was the go-getter they wish they could be. But instead of being inspired by me, they became salty and coarse because their driving force was jealousy. Set out to harm me and befoul my name, but their game was foul. Because instead of staying on the grind, they stayed on the prowl, trying to tear me down to build themselves up. But my cup overflows with blessings. And through the pain comes the lessons. So I press on with persistence because these bridges carry me over obstacle courses, away from negative forces and energies. So no river, valley, nor rough terrain can stand in my way or make me stray from the path that was laid, because my destiny is divinely ordered. I'm a daughter of the Most High. So I don't question why, I just ask when and where should I go. Because only the Most High knows the right direction, knows where I come from and where I'm going, and He's showing me the way. And now I'm crossing over bridges on planes, trains, and automobiles. Over the river, through the woods, and up hills that used to feel like mountains, and now mountains don't seem high anymore. Bridges connecting from shore to shore and places in between. And you can believe I'll never forget the birthplace of my rhyme. I'm going to rep it every time and everywhere I go. And when I leave my mark on the stage, they'll undoubtedly say, that sister came to town to put it down for Cincinnati. But she left behind a trail of that KY jelly. And that's that piece. Thank you, everyone. I want to just keep it moving. We're going to get right into the next poem. This next poem actually will be featured in my first ever poetry book that I will release come December, be published under Sugar Publishing. It's called Sincerely Doo-Wop. I'm very excited about it. So I'm going to read this next piece to you, and it's called The Light. When in the light, be courageous and audacious enough to risk eye rolls and low blows. Be cognizant of condescending, calamitous tongues of those less confident. Stay up, stay blessed, stay living the best life you can, passionately planning and progressing, personally paying attention to things that pertain to you. Pay no mind their judgmental looks, their words unspoken, or words spoken under their breaths. Let observation be 20/20. Even in the shade. Side eyes and side conversations. Add them to the equation as you figure things out. But don't be afraid nor swayed. Don't trade not one day to walk in their shoes. Be too busy staying busy. Be confident and carefree. Keep maneuvering through this traffic, blocking, bobbing, and bouncing off of their insecurities. In the grand scheme of things, you're blessed, and you know it. Can't be afraid to show it. Can't help but to share it. It's a whole vibe. And besides, a positive perception of a person of the female persuasion bossing up is an occasion for celebration. In a world where sexism and misogyny reign and racism remains, be dedicated to leaving blessings of your presence everywhere you go. After every show, every speaking engagement, every business meeting, every collaboration, let everything you do be with integrity and grace. Be proud, because you deserve to be exactly where you are today, doing exactly what you're doing, in whatever moment, for no other reason than you're determined and dedicated. You are light. You shine. Cast your rays far and wide. Be a guiding light, a beacon of hope. And when your light unfurls, the wind will capture it, leaving magnificent molecules of magic upon everything and everyone in your path. Instead of dimming to coddle their confidence, instead of shrinking to ease their egos, keep the light on. Let it shine. Let it radiate like the sun, because when it's all said and done at the end of the day, that's all that really matters anyway. Just shine. All right. So that's a note to self poem. You know, sometimes you just gotta remind yourself and encourage yourself. And thank God that there's people that I have around me that are there to encourage me and to help push me and to keep me going. And those people mean so much. So I'm thankful for that. Okay, so we'll get on to this next poem. Let's see what we have here. Okay, all right, so this next poem, we're going to have a little fun. I'm going to intro it with like a snippet of a song by Tweet, and it's called Smoking Cigarettes. All right, now the name of the poem is called Crazy, but we're going to intro it with a little snippet of some Tweet. Okay, here we go. Why, oh why gave you several years of my life, and it just ain't right. What's your perception of love? How many times did we say it was over? And how many times did we not leave? There's no sense in this love hangover. Please come back to me, 'cause I can't forget your ways. I still remember our first kiss. I'm nervous and trembling, smoking cigarettes, and wondering where you've been, smoking cigarettes, and you're the one to help me quit. See, crazy is as crazy does, and I must be crazy in love. It's like the love bug has contaminated my blood with microorganisms and jisms, filling me up with great expectations of constant bliss. Got me perpetrating and talking ish and doing ish like cooking and cleaning and washing his clothes and wiping his nose and rubbing his toes, and God knows that ain't me. Straight up crazy I must be, 'cause this brother's got me spending my money buying dreams, hanging to the wee hours of the morning, crack of dawn, and kicking other brothers to the curb. Word. Crazy is as crazy does, and I must be crazy in love, 'cause I'm seriously thinking about taking his name and bearing his seed to carry his name and fame. I claim him as mine even when it's not reciprocated. Because as I stated, I'm crazy in love. Doves fly in my eyes when I see him. Butterflies flutter in my gut when I touch him. My nostrils stand at attention when I smell him. I tell him I love him every day, and in every way I stay true. Even when I don't have a clue of where he is or where he's been, no other man can stand in his shoes when he do what he do to me. Because as I said, I'm crazy in love. Or maybe I'm just crazy. All right. So if you want to follow me on social media, you can definitely find me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform is available. You can find me there under at Duwap, D-U-W-A-U-P. If you type in Duwap, D-U-W-A-U-P, you'll find me there. You can also definitely go to my website, which is duwap.com, duwaup.com. You can connect to all of my social media platforms there as well. You can get more information, get more details about my bio, my background, my resume. And then also, if you're interested in booking me, you can book me through that site as well. All right. So next we'll get into this next poem. I say this poem is, when I'm, sometimes you, as a woman, you have to speak to your man in a way that he can comprehend, a way that he can get it. So you got to speak their language. So this next poem, I say this is for the brothers and for the sisters, because the brothers, y'all gonna feel me, but sisters, y'all gonna feel me. All right. So this next piece is called Down and Out. It seems we were advancing, but now we're in a recession. We keep losing yards and gaining nothing. Guess you switched up your game plan, crossed over to the other team, trying to tackle a dream of sacking a tight end. Your unsportsmanlike conduct has us messed up, and now we're at the end. This is sudden death. No 2-minute warnings, no overtime options, no instant replay. The kissing and holding have gone away, and now I'm assessing penalties because you've been offensive. But this is where I draw the line. Yeah, I'll be on the defense most of the time because every time you have a different story. But this time, you fumbled. Was found in someone else's territory, laid up in the trenches, laid up on your full back, spiked ready for play action from your head coach. Seems playing the field was your goal, but you let your guard down. Forgot to hold your position. Thought you had get free kicks on me permission, but I told you from the beginning I was in it to win, so if you had a wild card, you should have pulled it then. But instead, personal fouls are pounding up, and I'm at the point of giving up. I'm through with your rookie moves. I thought you was a veteran, but this game you're playing feels more like a scrimmage, and you're offsides. On a blindsided mission. Your formation has you in a bad position. Thought you were going to clinch the division, but your addition was incomplete. Had too many carries, made too many forward passes. Trying to get extra points, you appointed yourself captain of both teams. But there's no safety in that. I gave you all of me, and you only gave me half back. No, as a matter of fact, it was more like a quarter. But we're in a recession, and I need a return on all of my investments. I'm a free agent with home field advantage, making an interception, placing the ball back in my possession. I'm taking my tail back. And don't think I'm going to come running back to your team. No Hail Mary can get me on your fantasy roster. You're an imposter, and I'm the referee throwing a flag on your play. It's time to roll out, because I'm tired of playing your games. That's that piece. All right. All right, so I'm just going to wrap it up, and I'll end with this piece here. This poem is called My Sister's Keeper. I really just dedicate this to all the sisters out there, and this is from my heart to you. So this piece is called My Sister's Keeper. And thank you again. My name is Duwaup, and you can find me Duwaup. All right. So here it is, My Sister's Keeper. Am I my sister's keeper? But of course. I keep her in prayer, keep her enlightened and uplifted, keep her showered with gifts, keep her feeling loved and respected. I keep supporting her dreams, keep her focused on the grand scheme. I keep applauding her journey. Keep secrets she tells me, keep listening to her, keep a shoulder near for her, keep encouraging her, keep exhorting her, keep peace with her, keep loving her, keep admiring her. I keep her discreet, keep her confident, keep complimenting her accomplishments, keep her high, keep her sauced, keep her from getting lost in rejection. I keep her in consideration, keep her high in regard when speaking of her, keep staying in sisterhood with her, keep praying for her. Yes, I am my sister's keeper. No questions, no doubts, no qualms about it. And I'll keep on, keeping her, because I am my sister's keeper. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Carl Michael Iglesias, and I'm a poet, an actor, director, originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but now residing here in Brooklyn, New York. I want to say thank you for choosing me to spend your next 15 minutes with, to listen to some of my work and some of my poems. My debut chapbook, Catch a Glow, is available now at Finishing Line Press and wherever books are sold. I'm gonna read some poems from this collection in the beginning, and I will eventually read some new poems as well, and finish off with some more poems from the book. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm excited to get started. My first poem is the whole book, Catch a Glow, is a reflection on the storms that went through Puerto Rico in 2017, Hurricane Maria in particular. I was on the mainland, very much shaken from all the things that were happening abroad, and also the fact that I didn't know anything that was happening because of the lack of communication, because of the power outages that were happening on the island. So I took to a lot of different avenues to try to explore what was happening, right? Sometimes it was newspaper articles where I would like compile different lines from the newspaper articles to kind of create a poem. Sometimes I would take characters that I'd find in those newspaper articles and kind of write narratives from them. And then sometimes I would take images from spirituality of different kinds, in particular Puerto Rico. And in this next poem, I take the voice of huracán, which is where the word hurricane comes from, and it is almost like a godlike child of the same storm variety. And this poem is called Sighting. As a little preface, on September 20th at approximately 6:15 a.m., Maria made landfall on Yabucoa, Puerto Rico as a strong Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. Sighting. Hot breath heaving or uproot, steam burn, twigs turn dart, same speed, the aim and fire sprint. As God, it is namesay I pine, my homage, and also what details my push. First it was play, but waves grew with my fervor. Ask the grumpy coral, I am weightless boulder, but wrecking, sneeze swift. My eye is for intake. I gather in the blood. Kept turning on key, saw a village of frogs ascend and divide, saw diaspora, place them in rain stick, earth ear hustling. Am I plague? That depends on who dies in the summoning, on the timing of clouds, under the veil of prophecy. Cover your home, then mourn the tostones in the walls, brimstone for bash in the whistle of this traveling church. To the lighthouse for staying that empty, to the desperate beach greeting me, taking nothing, empty palm trees, dressed path floral for my retreat. Getting close, relish the testament, doubt in pruned hands, constant praying around my gaze in satellite, farms made ritual and scattered, seafoam ash, abuelos sin nietos, hallway light left on, and of course, Huracan was the name that belted. Thank you. As I was saying earlier, a lot of the poems from the book are hodgepodges from journalism and collected kind of phrases that make up poetry. This is a poem in that regard that is completely made of lines from a newspaper article. And it is called Open for Business. Music blared from the lobby at the San Juan Marriott Resort and Casino, which was finally packed with fanning tourists and not just emergency workers checking in, air-conditioned, skin-peeling savior spends on sites. Several mountain communities are still desperate for power supplies, damaged resorts, attention. Hotels are back up and running. Industry is critical, long-term recovery here. It's like the storm came through yesterday, said the mountains of Yabucoa, along with their children, been relying on a generator to survive. We need help. Another light in limbo, spent on the porch, in the dark. Thank you. This next poem is a similar poem, and this poem is comprised completely of newspaper titles, so the titles of newspapers during the time of post-Hurricane Maria. This poem is actually featured in the Breakwater Review. Also, it's in Catch a Glow. It is called Battered New. Maria pleads 6 months for help. Looking after Maria, transplanted struggle to put down roots in Central. We are forgotten people. It's been almost 6 months since Maria. Lures spring to fund comeback. Break Maria some good news. Maria still pleading for help. 6 months made Maria victim. Citizens, yet not. American more. Isolated Maria. Won't leave for mainland note onboarding. Maria lingers into a disaster like an afterthought. Maria hits, demands history, division of sending. Award Maria. Help in aims, inspire bow and arrow, attract counsel. Power slowly, Maria is better to roots. Water return. 300 dogs following Maria, rescued from celebration exodus. Maria nearly grows as island struggles to rebound from Maria. Can't keep lights on, blows out first seed to ever settle Maria. Why, maker? Does restoring full power seem like a never-ending task? Skipped White House still needs Maria to visit, aid relief for Maria. Unions clash over proposed players. Maria never before madness, after insane, seated, upset. We just believed in each other. Why shocking? Maria is better, will stand alone as gold. Stunning recipe for Maria. Will change what is in Maria. We are real for one, still dying. Staying Maria. The victory validation effect. benefit from a historic upset. Art museums review Maria. Face recovery, locker after close. Maria moves, upset, post-storm chaos. Face future uncertain. Welcome seed, upset. Club faces defeat, react, upset. Reunited. Maria flees. Thank you. Awesome. And so I'm gonna move on to some newer poems that will be released soon and hopefully in projects to come. This poem will be featured recently in the Hong Kong Review, forthcoming, and it is called On 10th and Greenfield. Javi had a box of notebooks filled with raps. We were birthed in a mound of broken dirt, ring of worms, city of roots, lineage of olive veins made of blood-red mud, washed from waste pests when left with limits. We surfaced, restless, squirming, working, scraping toward the surface. Cave dwelling, painting names we gave ourselves. Our parents paved roads and we bathed in them. We were rocks, dreaming of becoming towering mountains, August monuments. We would build ourselves up. Thank you. And a lot of my newer poems have been kind of looks into the past and remembering kind of who I was and how that has made me who I am, and where I'm going from here, and how that'll make the man that I will be. This next poem is just a little bit about kind of growing up into my manhood within my family, and it is called Warm. I remember when one popped up on Easter weekend family reunion, where the primos stay home as new parents, the titis go to service as daughters under their mother's roof, their father's roof. All the abuelos and abuelitas have gone home on a long road trip to a church convention in heaven. No one is sure where all the deals go. Maybe it births at a warm, near your sternum. And when you look down, you've discovered you've been baptized with your niece's Cheerio spit up. There is a rag for that, and I don't change my sweater. It opens with me being the uncle, with the juca soaking in warm water before being brought to blade, begins with patience. And on the south side, it always goes down. Because in every long family, there's a couple short tempers, and I've been an uncle since I was 5. I know where the hole in the hallway comes from. Thank you. And I'm down to my last couple of poems. I just wanted to say thank you again. This one is forthcoming as well. And it is about my relationship with my father, and in particular, the moments that we would have with him picking me up from school when I was a young boy. It's called I Was Picked Up from School on a Harley Once. Unchecked by the front desk, I point to the man atop all that boisterous. A wine-colored Sportster bubbling through the window. I know how close you can get to an explosion. I need an explanation for how I fit into the helmet. I have a screaming eagle who looks like me. I squeeze him over Thunderglide. Vibrations rock me away. We take off and I can barely hold on. I know you see me, Mina. You better double that Dutch. Birdo saw me too. He punched me earlier that day in the back so hard my lung popped. I'm still catching my breath. He carries me with him always, the most alive he has ever been. So I want him to see me too. Ascending on this floating island, a skipping rock across block. Does anybody else see us possessed? For the first time? Admire the burning steel, is that love behind the noise? When will I get my scent of leather? I will always remember this as the closest we've ever been to dying together. Let it out. Big Pop's caught in the exhaust, an explosion passed on. We are a war reenactment. An Independence Parade coming down historic Mitchell Street. We are what is left. The gust of confetti. How many possibilities have we exhausted? How old until I am exhausted? No doubt. Vibrations rolling through me as 100 sneakers release to asphalt recess, free shook. A bandana is a flag over here, rolling in black paisley eastbound, passing 9th Street, the corner of my eye. Spot Sam liquor store. Hopeful, I shut them so tight. I can see the 6-pack of genuine draft, putting all his love into clutching the scalp of the grape blow pop. Hear him say, "This is my boy." Thank you. And that's all the time that I have for you today. I would just like to say thank you one more time for everybody here spending your time with me and sharing on some poems, some older ones and some new ones. Again, you can follow me at OYE414. Again, that's at OYE414. Or you can visit carlmichaeliglesias.com for any of my stuff. Also, don't forget, Catch a Glow is available for purchase at finishinglinepress.com. Thank you.
Hello, family. I am excited to be with you this evening. I wanted to share some pieces that I've recently come across in going through old archives. Well, archives sounds like, well, yes, I do have decades of work. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves of ourselves. But I was looking for a specific piece. And, you know, when you're looking for one thing, you find a dozen other things. The same way you go into Target to get one thing, you need a basket. So I have a basket of poems that I'd like to share that really brought smiles to my face. I remember where I was, where in my poetry career, in the moment that I was able to share them for the first time. So let me to get into them and share these pieces. I'll tell a little bit about them as I go. This first one is called Working Hands. We build with padded fingertips and dimpled palms. We build a lifetime against these skies, scaffolding our future Babel towers. God is approving of our work, of our calloused knuckles, of aching joints. Our human frailties will prick, split, and gash. This construction will not be easy, yet your fingers will lace mine when they are weathered. My fist will hold yours firm when it is weak. We embed our foundation with small, glimmering details, intricate patterns that will unveil themselves into a majestic lifescape. Choose sound and sturdy pillars to steady this legacy, this labor, this love, this blessing, this life. Together, we build. And the idea of being in partnership, whether it's a romantic partnership or a partnership in social justice or siblingship, being in partnership with another human being, ask intention, and even with the best of intention, the mechanics of getting that right, you know, us mortals get in the way of that sometimes. So describing the idea of a relationship as this building that's going to nick and prick at your fingers was a really important turning point, or poetic articulation. I know I needed it at that time to be reminded that this work is messy and the people that you love, you're not going to like all the time. And even in the best of our intentions, we are not always glistening and whole and unscathed. That's why it's called work. So along the same lines, the second piece that I came across thinking of work was an invitation to participate in a program that was put on by Tariq Moody and Alverno Presents, Tariq Moody from 88.9 Radio. And there was a series of projects to reimagine popular works of music. And so this particular show was a showcase of Marvin Gaye's Here, My Dear album, which is, as I learned in being in that show, was his greatest work that received the least commercial acclaim. And now years and years, decades later, perceived among the top 50 albums of our culture. I know, right? So in this piece, and it was an album that he put together as a divorce settlement. It was at the time TMZ worthy, and he was married to Anna Gordy Gay. Yes, of those Gordys. And it was codependent. I think that's the most generous way I can describe how the relationship was described. And in the course of this show, this album, he made all these songs that basically told the messy story of their relationship. My invitation in this show, it was for musicians from across the city who reimagined pieces of this album. I was asked to write a poem that told Anna's story. And very briefly, Anna and Marvin Gaye, she was a little bit older than him. He was not even Marvin Gaye yet, but she was a Gordy and was even involved in the music business. So the narrative will tell its tale. And after they had this bitter, public, awful divorce, after a marriage that many said probably went longer than it should have, they were bitter for a long time, but in their senior years, they actually came together and were able to, I don't want to say they didn't get back together, but they definitely found a common place. So this is called Split for Anna. You split me open, cracked wide my carriage and emptied me out. I should have seen the brute tools you held behind your back. I wanted to be the first person who ever truly had your back. Add your sturdy to my style, my steel to your spine. But you were not constructed for standing tall. You did not reinforce the hard metals and gleam. You were not engineered for holding on tightly with all your might. You were not made to love me. And I chose to love you anyway. Love you like a commission, like a calling, like a crush of collapsing stone. I filled you with my perfumes and champagnes, my shadows and charades, with stage lights, jet fuel, cabaret smoke, and fame. I wedged you through the doors in my world in exchange for your devotion, your affection, and a new accessory for my last name. You split me open. And I tried to lavish you unbroken, love you into one piece. You blew the dust from my empty cavern, let me seal my longing around your need. We were supposed to defy odds and fate. Endure the snapping bite of truth, delusion, exploded combustible proof of how your hunger raged more violently than my will, and my pride snarled more viciously than your pain. We dotted love arsenic along the dry fabric of our tongues. I let you split me open. Watched you slowly pull the cords of my tangled and clotted insides, laid out my ugly for all the world to see, all the rot I tried to cure by clutching the velvet edges of you. You looked like a prayer in brown skin, felt like rapture beneath my hands. I only wanted to hold you like a charm beneath the soft curves of my hand. I only wanted to conjure us a miracle with my hands. Instead, you split me open. Excited, a feverish weed, invasive at the roots, organic matter of you pushed through the concrete slabs of my resolve. You split me wide open. We split open, unstitched these weakened seams. We uncloaked our souls, exposed our underbellies, raw and seeping. With wounds we suffer, but never got around to actually treating before finding each other, before clutching at this nothing, before spreading ourselves across a canyon of chronic ache and wanting. We kept dressing our desires in fresh air and failure, hard times and humility, and eventually the gracious passing of time. Passing of time. We split time between living and haunting, hating and longing. Could have been our mortal hearts or the ancient anguish of our demons, but we pried wide this fissure. We broke open this sky. In time, I solved the jumbled puzzle of your time with this world of this plane. In my life, I finally glimpsed our narrow beam of sunshine. And it was good to clean and be honest and pure. And it's an eternal love. This love is eternal. Toxic to our flesh, redemptive to our spirits. Now we lay to rest our shredded armor, bask in the glory we could not pin between our palms. Open, open. You split my love forever. Open. I love that piece. And that's not every, but that's a breakup story for the ages. I was explaining to someone, it's breakups are breakups that often aren't pretty. I'm going to skip that one. This next piece is something I've had a chance to share a couple of times. It's attached to a workshop that I do, one of my favorite ones. And the workshop takes people through an exercise of building a piece about their name. And like with all of my workshops, within this construction of a poem, we're having a conversation. And for me, I give the framework that my relationship with my name has been, as a little kid, no one else had it. And as a little kid, you don't really appreciate having something that no one else has. And specifically, I could never find my name in souvenir shops. I couldn't get t-shirts. I couldn't get pencils. I couldn't get the little license plate for my bicycle. Dasha was never available. I went through a phase where I even went by a nickname in high school. I was DJ. And then I went back to Dasha in college, and now very much appreciate the fact that I've met two Dashas, and one was a bird. So my name means not quite blue, not quite green, not quite Russian, not quite Slavic. Dasha is chartreuse and teal. My name means two shades left of familiar. My name burst fresh against tongues and norms. Its aberration of letters stamp revenge against a persistent void of personalized pencils, t-shirts, bicycle license plates. My name means black girl who's never black enough. Voluptuous girl who learned to strap her curves into restraints. My name means determined, inventive, and handicapped with stubborn hopefulness. My name means the existence of mystical things, of purgatory, of unicorns, of miracles after the storm. My name is a compromise between a princess and a queen, between a lady in waiting and a rising king, between the second and third dip beneath placid waters. My name means truce, means promise, means recycled new beginnings. My name means benefit of the doubt, means more to do, means more to come. It means more than its weight in gold. My name means more. It means more. It means more. And this is a piece that I just absolutely love to share, and I'm glad that it found me again. It's called Mirrors. I spend a lot of time on my bathroom mirror these days. It's enormous. I painted and mounted it myself. I hired a handyman to install the vanity lights. I am willing to engage experts. Somehow that doesn't feel the same as asking for help. Black woman. Is my mother wielding grace, guerrilla tactics, and fairy godmother goodwill all in the same afternoon? Black woman is my grandmother exacting her own resurrection of revenge in the form of success. Black woman is stubborn love extending again and again a well-bitten hand. And I hear the cadence of their steps when I'm out here in the world: patent leather, peep-toe wedges, galoshes, sneakers, and even fuzzy slippers. And I don't move with the soundtrack of legacy, but the arc and lilt of their melody play on a loop. And like them, my skin is imbued with pride, with satisfaction, with fulfillment, and exhaustion. Is that what it means to be Black woman, being exhausted? I might be willing to be half as Black if I could be half as weary. Quote, you come from a long line of women who get shit done. End quote. I said this to my oldest daughter when she was 13, around the same age it was when the dots were connected for me. And I didn't arrange them for me in a path, but they did widen my ken a possibility. And I didn't have all that language then, but I knew that I did have choices. And life is about dealing yourself good choices. Black woman is dealing the bad ones into charm jewelry. And I spend a lot of time in my bathroom mirror these days, experimenting with natural skincare: honey, egg whites, avocado, coconut oatmeal, even milk of magnesia. Quote, when you know better, you do better. And I try to do better every day. Sometimes the trying is a feat all of its own, with so much better stacked in piles all around me. Better eating, better income, better dreaming, better staying in touch with friends. This season, I'm only committed to better ingredients. When I'm alone, I give myself permission to stare into mirrors. The one in my mirror has the best light. I bask in my meanness, celebrate the journey to this reflection, and I don't mind the approaching promise of crinkles around my smiling eyes. I loved the way my grandmother's face folded and unfolded when she laughed. And the backs of my hands are corded with the patterns of my mother's veins. They are elegant and strong like hers. And I think I always knew that this woman in this mirror, jostled and chipped, was swelling inside of me. And I think I always feared the hemorrhaging and splitting of skin required to get her here. I marvel at how smoothly the scars are fading. When I'm alone, I admire my curves and bulges and blemishes and gray strands and the soft shadows settling under the contours of my face, this face that is 3 generations young, old, seasoned, I like to say. When I'm alone, I don't mistake my appreciation for surety or arrogance or completion or luck. When I'm alone, I don't mistake myself at all. When I'm alone in my mirror, I make myself promises of more movies, fewer emails, longer baths, new words. I promise to keep my heart in my left hand so it can be free, but I can still watch it because it's such a rambunctious thing. Some of these are promises in progress, but I make them all in good faith. I am good faith when I'm alone. I'm peace when I'm alone. I'm beautiful, I'm wise, I'm gentle, I'm quiet, so surprisingly quiet. I'm listening to the murmur, the moaning, and the meandering of my thoughts. I'm floating when I'm alone. I'm smearing foodstuffs on my face and in my hair. I'm flossing and exfoliating. I'm peering into the eyes of an anxious preteen who refuses to leave me. I'm welcoming a face that is new, but is mine, but not really. I spend a lot of time in the mirror these days, an exercise that feels exactly like prayer.